You're listening to the Joint Sermons on the Push Media Podcast Network.
So in the middle of summer, we have to come on and have a very special episode because of the massive, unavoidable news the whole world's talking about. It's on every station. We can't avoid it. Eminem released a new album as Slim Shady.
He did indeed.
You know, I listened to it. I listened to it a couple of times. To be fair, probably 5 times. It does not suck. How's that for a review? I don't hear it and go, oh God.
You know what? I listened to it at your behest, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't suck.
No,
I
that's
don't know.
different. If it's not your style, that's totally different.
And
but it doesn't suck.
Like he can rap. Nobody's debating that. Like if you say he can't rap, you're just lying, right?
Oh yeah, come on.
I like his production style. He's always been really poor beat choosing, I guess. For me, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily hit with me. Like I listen to the whole thing. He produces
most of his beats right now.
Yeah, well, he should like farm out some work. Take a tip from Common and get somebody good. I mean, I listened to it. Will I listen to it again? No. I mean, is it going to get massive amounts of streams because he's probably the biggest rapper in the world and he has fans all over the world? Yeah, absolutely.
200 million streams in 48 hours.
I mean, and that's the thing. And the people that are saying like, oh, who actually listens to this? People in other countries. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the dude is massive.
But also that sounds like a disgruntled backpacker.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am a backpacker, and I still believe that he probably got all this. No, I'm actually gruntled. That's
what I'm saying. It's a very uncommon way to think, but a lot of backpackers are, how do you like that? A lot of backpackers are cranky white men.
Yeah, which ironically, like I remember going to Scribble Jam and seeing Dude battle back in the day, and they were all backpackers. Like that entire thing was just based around the elements. So for people now to be like, oh, you know, he's not this or he's not that. It's like, dude, I saw him lose the juice. You know what I mean?
You know what kills me too is people saying, oh, this is more Slim Shady than Eminem, which to me, the Slim Shady was always better than Eminem. It was better music to me, better lyrics, better rapping.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as Slim Shady from before. Well, no, he's 25 years older.
Yeah,
he's raised
got an
children.
Adult child. Yeah,
and someone said he's about to be a grandfather. I don't know if that's true, but I'm like, okay, yeah, he's different. He's also mega rich.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now versus the guy we all know the story of him being. He's going to talk about different things. Yeah. So when he's Eminem, he's talking about different things. When he's Slim Shady, he's going back to just nonsense. Because I see one review says, oh, he hasn't grown in 25 years. He's still talking about Christopher. I'm like, that's what the Slim Shady character is.
Right. Well, and I think the concept of the record of it kind of being like this neurotic, schizophrenic, like back and forth between like the duality of who he is it's a solid concept. Do I want to listen to it? No, not really. But I mean, you know, he touches on a bunch of stuff and like has a lot of reflection going on with it. And I'm sure that resonates with some people, just, you know, not with me. I mean, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to be playing it anymore. Like once was enough for me. But like anybody that's like saying, oh, it's a terrible record, you got to look at your own bias. Like, do you just hate Eminem or do you, because I mean, like I said, he's got some super clever punchlines. Like the dude always has
punchlines
bars.
The punchlines never quit. They're nonstop.
Yeah. And it goes on and on and on. And, you know, it's disingenuous to say that, you know, it is a terrible record. It's a terrible record if you don't like him. You know what I mean? From an objective standpoint, like it's a decent record. Will I play it again? No.
Like I said, is it terrible?
Suck. No. I mean, there's terrible records out there, but like this, you know, say what you want, but to me, no, it's not a terrible record. Will I listen to it again? No.
Yeah, you're very clear about that. You won't listen to it again. But
I am very clear about that.
But I mean, yeah, the punchlines is what gets me where I'm like, you know, there's parts where I'm listening to him, I laughed. I'm like, okay, that was funny. Just simple thing. Even when he calls out retards and he calls out crippled people and F blind people. Who comes out with F blind people and crippled too? It's just funny.
Or when he was talking about midgets, I don't know, maybe it was like the
Yeah.
12-year-old in me. Like, I was like, and you can almost tell he's just trolling because it's like there's no way that like he's being serious about this and he's just
Well,
trying to like gin up the
he has
mob. You know
long
what I mean?
said, he has long said there's nothing legitimate or serious about the Slim Shady character. He has
No.
said that I probably 15, 20 years ago. I remember clearly he's like, Slim Shady and Eminem and Marshall Mathers are three different people. Eminem's a stage name for Marshall Mathers. You can take some of what I said serious. Slim Shady, it's just stuff. I see that no different than Al Pacino playing The Godfather.
Yeah.
He's not the
Or
Godfather, or he's not a gangster, he's not scary.
yeah, or I mean, look at the, everybody's favorite backpacker, MF Doom, like Zev Love X, two different people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, that dude used to send fakes of himself to get
Yes.
paid, which
Yeah.
I always thought was super shady. Oh, he's a super
Well, it
villain.
is shady because you're paying to see him.
Right, exactly. And it's, it's whatever. It's just
Shady.
funny that
Shady.
okay, bars. You
Wiki,
got it.
wiki. Okay. But
Stop.
but then the fact that he references Christopher Reeves and won't let Christopher Reeves go, it's just to me hilarious. The
Yeah,
fact that he says I put the shit to bed like Amber Heard, hilarious,
dude.
just hilarious. But there's so many punchlines that like I like the one song. I think it's called Lucifer. No, it's not Lucifer. Maybe it's Guilty Conscience too. Dr. Dre, I apologize in advance, and then
Oh
you hear
yeah,
Dr.
that
Dre
was the
go,
one.
"Okay, I appreciate that." Like like because
Yeah,
it's just funny. Like he digs on everybody.
yeah.
I mean, he was clowning, through a third person line, but he's clowning Kendrick Lamar and all that stuff. He's just clowning people. It's just what it is. It's all fun, but it
Yeah.
doesn't suck. And
No.
I do prefer that versus the screaming thing that he does.
Oh
Because
yeah, that was really put me off. I mean, like I said, I was never a huge fan, but that like era of Slim Shady Eminem I was just like, no, hit
no,
pause.
I can't do
Like
it.
I can't.
I
Yeah, it's
cannot
terrible.
listen to it. I don't care. Please stop.
Yeah,
And also, don't sing. I don't mind if rappers throw off a bar or a hook once in a while where it's funny, where they sing like crap. But he'll sing a lot on albums. I'm like, just stop
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Stop.
Nobody's asking for an Eminem vocal
No, no, no.
like
Even
that.
it's even unironically or ironically, no, please.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely not.
but what did please me is the new Common and Pete Rock album.
So
that
good.
that is a master class
Yep.
of music, of production, of
Oh,
lyrics, and it screams to everyone else, which makes me can't wait for LL Cool J and Q-Tip. It screams, "Hey, get one rapper, get one producer,
yep.
lock in and make an album."
Yep. You know what? I was kind of apprehensive about it because, Common to me, like I like him, it's sometimes his bars get a little bit too much. Like I was in a relationship with Erykah Badu for a really long time.
Yeah,
Like that, what was that circus record that he did where I was kind of like, ooh. But you know what? Like Pete laced him and everything. Like I listened to it probably at least 2 times in a row the day it dropped on my opening shift because I'm there super early and yeah, there was only literally like one skippable track on there for me and it was like the second one, like Chi-Town Do It, but everything else was spectacular. Pete came with exactly the type of Pete Rock production I want to hear.
100%.
And Common just barred out. And it also makes me really happy that I think we're kind of getting past this like ageist thing with hip hop. Like it's a young man's game. Like I love to see all of these rappers that are slightly older than us or our age just coming out and just putting out some of the best
Spice
music of their
One,
life. Dude,
another guy.
listen,
That album, as someone from the same town as him, Hayward, California, and been listening to him since he was slinging literally TDK tapes.
yeah.
He has not changed in the sense that he comes hard, even at his age.
Yeah.
It's great. And it's all of it sounds current.
Yeah, nothing sounds dated on that record. That was my palate cleanse after Eminem. I listened to that, and man, he's got some. I mean, he had 8 on there. What was the Projects track that he has with?
He had Pete Rock on there. No, he had everybody on there, and everybody came off. The beats hit, the rhyme concepts hit,
yeah,
and the whole vibe of the whole album. You're just like it's just.
And his flow, even though it's I mean, I can remember it from 187 he wrote like back in the day, and it's still like the way he chops up his bars over the production is perfect. And like it's just that Bay Area funk, you know what I mean? Like it's East Bay gangster all day. And it was really, really good. I liked it. The only complaint I had was Griselda was on it. One of the dudes from Griselda.
Yeah.
And I mean, I listened to it and it immediately put me to sleep. It was like NyQuil on the track.
Well, what's funny is I seen someone say this dude's in his 50s and he's talking like he's a gangster. I'm like, well, you don't know truly what he is or what he isn't. I don't know, but I will tell you, my Bay Area upbringing has formed me into who I am. And even though I'm not who I was, there's a whole lot of that in me
Oh yeah.
that is never going away. And this man went to Mount Eden High School in Hayward, and I'm telling you right now, that's where I played Little League. That's who he is.
Yeah.
We were in Little League and we'd have team fights with the other team. Little League.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I
that
think
ball too far. Boom, we're having a fist fight. That's
and
what
I mean,
it was.
that dude's been in the streets. Like that wasn't,
Yes.
I can remember stories in the source back in the day.
They shot him up in his mom's driveway.
Exactly.
Like 10 years ago in Hayward.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, for a rapper like him, like I'm not worried about it. Like what he's saying, you know what, dude, say it. Like you obviously have the pedigree to talk like that. Are you still in the streets? Maybe not, but like if that's your experience and that's what you're going to rap about, do it. You know what I mean? I don't want a gospel record from Spice One.
I do like he was on Drink Champs, and I got to tell you, Drink Champs has been knocking it out of the park lately. But he was on there and he's talking about he was in Compton at DJ Quick's, right? And MC8 called him. He was like, yo, you're here, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm over here on this street, wherever it was, which was over by Quick's. He's like, come out and meet us. And he said, this is where Quick and 8 were kind of becoming cool and getting past all that. And it's like, I can't go over there. And it's like, those guys aren't going to ever truly get away from any of that until they move to, Colorado. So,
yeah. Wow.
I don't know. I wouldn't call them posers and fakers. I mean, that's like Ice Cube. Plays a character. I won't say he's a faker because it is entertainment. That's what it is.
Right.
And he played a character. He's not a gangster. And I'm on the record saying that before, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a great upbringing, middle class, good. Got sent to a nice school, good.
Arizona State, baby.
Why? Even in high school, he was shipped to a better high school. His parents sent him to better high school. Good. Yeah. There's no shame in that whatsoever. Don't care. But so he's not a real gangster, but he's not faking because it's entertainment. But there's faking it is like Diddy or Puffy because I'm old.
Yeah.
Puffy's fake. Puffy, his dad was somebody in the streets, but you're not. Your dad was dead when you were little tiny, like tiny. So you're not none of that. And that's fake. I don't even think that's entertainment. You're fake. You think you're some kind of big boss mogul. I just read an article. He was going to be on the cover of Vibe, and he was on the cover of Vibe, but he didn't like the picture. So he called the editor and threatened her life.
Yeah, and then she got an apology via fax.
Yeah, well, she took whatever it was on CD or whatever and told someone, take this and go.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even get it. She did not back down. But I'm like, I have a story which back in the radio days, he was at the radio and we had a video camera up. And then he at the end decides, I want that tape. No. It's like literally the property of the radio station. No. You know what I mean? Like, no. And he had these goons with him that he thought was going to intimidate everybody. And he told one of them to grab that camera. This guy that had the camera, grab that camera. And I'll never forget, his paid goons looked at him and says, we ain't home.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, you're in the Bay, bud.
Yeah, but it's just the way he said it. Like, we ain't home. No, two people and Puffy. Like, no. I mean, like the Loonies, when people use their 5 on it beat, they're like, you didn't get proper permission or show respect, which is corny. But same thing, Puffy had to apologize for that.
Yeah.
So that's fake gangster. Because if he wanted that tape, he could have took the tape.
Yeah, he could have tried, but
yeah, but it's like wouldn't have worked back then with me. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah,
you taking shit from me. But for his people to recognize, like, no, we're not home. I'll never forget that. So he's a fake gangster.
Yeah.
Also, if he was a real scary man, they would have did whatever he said and wouldn't have dared said no to him.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I mean, it definitely is fake. you touched on it briefly, but the new LL and Q-Tip,
God,
dude,
I can't wait for that.
just that snippet. I don't ever want to hear anybody say that LL can't bar out. Like,
oh no, he's
his,
stupid dumb.
his pen is ridiculous. And you know what?
Yes.
Q-Tip might be one of the most underrated producers of all time. I mean, that dude, like, he doesn't get spoken about enough in the same
Nope.
pantheon of like Pete Rock or Primo
Dude,
or
he
Dilla.
he
Dude,
can sample
he
neck to
made
neck with Primo.
Midnight Marauders.
Yes.
He did all the production for Tribe. That it
But
literally
Low End Theory is a better album than Midnight Marauders.
you're wrong, and we can
I
debate
am
this
not
forever.
wrong, actually. But yeah,
Neither
he produced 3 back-to-back classic albums.
just insane. And like, I don't know why. Like between Midnight Marauders and Blowout Comb, those are 2 records that made me want to start making beats. And Midnight Marauders, I don't know. Maybe it was because it came out at a certain time. It just like I probably bought that tape 4 times because I played it so much. It popped.
What?
And you know, people just don't look at that and be like, Q-Tip gave you classic after classic, and now he's linking up with LL, and just that
he knows
snippet.
music.
Oh, dude, that entire record is going to be sick, and I don't want to hear anything
well,
about
here's the
like.
thing. I pre-ordered it, the CD, because it's available with signed
for
by
real?
LL. Yeah, signed by LL. That way, so I can guarantee a signed copy. I'm gonna give to my son because my son is all about LL.
He's gonna lose his mind when he gets
Absolutely, I can't wait.
that kid might cry
Because he'll be at school.
In the best way
It's like the
possible.
second week of school. I can't wait when he gets home. Like, boom, check it out. He's gonna freak, because he got DMC's autograph at a sneaker store.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we were at the mall. There he is, and we're like, whoa, that's DMC. And my son's also. I'm looking at my son and is like freaking out.
Saucer eyes.
Boom. So it was crazy, but you know, Q-Tip knows music so well that if you ever listen to his Apple Music Radio mix show, he is not just mixing, he's actually live sampling music. He will take these 5 records, little parts of each record, and mix them back and forth to you all of a sudden realize, oh crap, that's what he's doing. He's putting that together and made that beat that and then here comes the hip hop beat, and then here comes the song. Well, and that itself is talented to live sample and do that back, and he's back and forth with it, and it's
Well, have you seen the video where I can't remember who was in the studio with him? It was like him and Kanye and somebody else, and he was just needle dropping a loop on the record, and people's minds were blown. And I was like, that's how it started, guys. Like,
there's another one too,
and he just does it so effortlessly, just nails it on a needle drop. And I mean, needle dropping is not easy to do, and especially just to sit there and watch the groove and to know exactly when to pick it up and drop it again, so you get a complete loop, is insane.
He's in tune with the music. But there was another video where he broke down, like, you know, I don't know, remember what song he broke down, but he's like, oh, here's this song and here's what we did. And he went back and forth and showed you, and you're like, dude, that's nasty what you just did. Because you were like, that song, that sample, that loop became that?
Yep.
Damn. Yep. Like, and you don't even recognize it.
No. Yeah. And there's a lot of samples that he picked up. I can't remember who was interviewing, but it was somebody on like, it was a, you know, corporate channel or whatever, and they were in like his record room, and it was just wall to wall, and you know, the interviewer was asking him like, oh, you know, what do you do? I was like, how do you do it? Da 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 da. And they were talking about music, and she was like, oh, do you have any Beatles? And he just walks over to a whole section, and he's got like the entire run, and like you could tell the interviewer was shocked, because he had more than just like soul, jazz, funk, R&B stuff. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's what makes him a good producer.
Exactly.
If you only listen to rap, your album's going to suck.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. You know what I mean? Like you can come through my like thousands of records that I have, and it's like, yeah, you know, I have Tower of Power, but you know, I also have, you know, a ton of other stuff that is like, why wouldn't I have it? You know what I mean? Like Spyro Gyro or like weird prog rock stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I like good music. Like when I go digging, like I like to go and dig for records that I know have samples on them or open drums or whatever. But then it's also
I have
like
records in my mind everywhere that I go.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, Weezer's probably the same way. Those dorks are probably the same way. They probably dig and wherever they're going, and they're dorks.
Well,
I did like that the Black Keys went digging when they're on tour. Did you see that video?
Yeah, did I
They
see
just
the
dig it
video?
like someone else. Oh,
When they
boom. What's that? Can I get that? Is that
Yeah,
for
they
sale?
when they bought that when they bought that synth or whatever, it was
Yeah.
funny because I literally had jobs on my break and I literally just like that tweet. I was like, oh dude, that's so legit. And then like 30 seconds later I get a text message from you with that link and I'm like, I literally just like that. And your only response was nerd.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
nerd.
yeah, absolutely, man.
But you
Uh,
could tell the biggest nerds are the ones making the better music.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean
Just nerds.
they DJ after shows, like,
Oh
and
yeah.
and it's weird because it's all like cumbia and Latin percussion stuff. And there was an interview where Patrick and Dan were sitting there and they were recording something, and Dan was looking for this record, and Patrick saw that he was bidding on it on eBay, so he just started upping the price until it got to like $400. And then he stopped bidding on it. So Dan got it. And then Patrick told him after the case, he was like, yeah, that was me. So he gave him like the other, because it was only like a $50 record.
Sure.
And he gave him like the other 350 back. But dude was just cracking up because he was
Yeah,
just
that's funny.
because he was just trolling him. And I guess Dan was getting madder and madder that somebody was pushing the price up that high. I was
Well,
weak from it.
before we run out of time, one more album. Did you listen to the new Sugar Free album?
I did not.
Okay. He's another one, just like Spice One, who is in his 50s and has remained consistent and still sounds current. And also like Eminem, Slim Shady, his punchlines do not quit. And to me, they're almost like comedy albums.
Yeah. He almost
So-
reminds me of like a Blowfly type of rapper. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, you know what he did though? He just took famous beats through hip hop, redid them a little, and then just rapped over them. It's more of a street tape than it is actual real thing. The album's a vehicle for his new rapper Sporty to get him out there.
Oh, okay.
But it's dope. Like it's only 30 minutes. It's perfect length. It's dope, but it's full of punchlines. I mean, he has one line. He's like, "No, officer, I didn't touch her. She beat herself with a bag of bagels." Like that's just stupid.
Yeah. Well, and
Because
that's
no one's getting beat with a bag of bagels. But
I
at
mean,
the same time, it's
that's-
just funny.
Yeah, and I mean that's one dude that like his street credibility is pretty much intact. Like I think everybody that knows who Sugar Free is knows exactly what he did in the past, and he's come out and talked about it, but I don't think he should ever be questioned when it comes to that. And I mean, plus if
No.
you've seen the infamous video with like it's him just a pencil
Yes.
making a beat and
A
rapping.
pencil
I
and
mean,
a penny.
yeah, I mean, and that is just like ridiculous. Just the polyrhythms that were going on to be able to do
Yeah.
that and spit bars. I mean, I think if you haven't seen that video, just go find it. It'll blow your mind.
The fact if you look at him, he can't even keep his eyes open. He's all focused on it, and yeah, he's better than people at that. But look, I'm getting the signal here that we're almost out of time, so we can't miss the number one story in the world that everyone keeps talking about. You probably think you know what it is, but it's not. Is we obviously are going to be recording every couple of weeks or so during the summer just to get our groove back, like Stella. Oh, hell, bars. Anyway, and we'll be back, I guess, after summer with legit episodes and whatnot. And somehow, I refuse to let the big story of the day trump what we wanted to talk about. How you like that? Bars.
Hey,
Ba-doom, boom. Tss. But do you have any thoughts on Trump?
no, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't like.
I got to tell you though, the entire left constantly mocked Alex Jones and called him a conspiracy theorist about anything. Even if he said something that wasn't a conspiracy theory, I'm like, yes, he's a conspiracy theory nut. But if he says, I like bagels, that is not a conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? Like, calm down. That same left is absolutely nuts with the conspiracy theories right now about this assassination attempt. They were mocking him and calling it fake that he wore a bandage on his ear, which the entire world watched on live TV. His ear got shot. So he has a bandage. I'm not surprised he has a bandage.
I mean, I don't doubt that, that was a legitimate attempt. I just thought it was a horrible failure on the.
Speaking of failures, DEI, which is a absolute failure. I don't care what you say, you communist pig.
I mean,
but
that's a dog whistle.
That female agent,
nah,
she failed so hard at her job. And if you go back to when the Secret Service director was that female, and she goes, we're going to hire mostly females to try to balance out the playing field. And it's like, well, that's dumb. Just hire whoever's badass because that's what that job is, right? Just hire whoever's badass.
Well, I mean,
This lady's
for
middle
me,
aged and out of shape and overweight, and she couldn't holster her weapon, and then she ducked for cover.
yeah.
You
Well,
you
and I mean,
ducked.
look, that entire team failed, but not only that, local police and like the local police in Butler failed because the news that was coming out was this kid pulled out a rangefinder, a cop climbed up the ladder that the kid used, the dude pulled a gun on him, turned around, looked at him, and the guy stepped down. So
Yeah, it's all weird.
I mean, the fact that listen, I know Butler. I've been there a few times, unfortunately.
Dog whistle.
And I mean, well, hey, look, the truth is the truth. But like those cops there are fat, out of shape, middle-aged dudes that have lived there
Like
their
most cops?
entire life. Yeah, but I mean, they're even worse. They're just townies. You know what
They're
I
like
mean?
Smokey
So
and the Bandit type sheriffs.
absolutely. You know,
Okay.
I 100% believe that. But, you know, I'm not going to say that it was a woman's fault that that dude got shot. I'm going to
Oh,
say
I
it
didn't
was
say
just
it was a woman's fault. I
a
said the woman who
collective
was there
failure.
failed.
Oh, yeah. Well,
She-
she failed. So did the fat cop that missed the shot.
Well, duh. But my point is, as a Secret Service agent standing next to the protectee, the former president, she ducked. That's weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
And she couldn't holster her weapon. I'm like, but there's so much stuff that, like, if I was an agent, I'd be pissed at Trump. Like when he stands up and raises his fist, or when they get to the car and he stands up on the edge of
That's
the
the
ledge
part that killed me.
I'm like, can you not make yourself another target? I'm supposed
I
to
mean,
stand in front of you.
look at that video as compared to whenever Hinckley went after Reagan. There was no hesitation. Like,
There's a famous picture of that shot.
yeah, when Jim
Well,
Brady got shot.
No, yeah, but there's a famous picture of that shot when an agent is flying sideways through the air like Superman, turning his body to block the shots to Reagan. Now that's
Yeah.
what we envision.
Right. Well, that's why I said that entire Secret Service detail just failed in general, not just a woman. You know what I mean? But also, did you
But
hear him
I didn't say it was just a woman, you communist pig.
You said DEI, and I said
I said
dog
DEI.
whistle.
Yeah, I said DEI. It's a failure.
Well, regardless,
it did not succeed as a program. It did not accomplish anything it wanted to. So it is a failure. And also, big companies are getting rid of it because it doesn't work. They said it doesn't work. It's a failure. It doesn't mean that whatever it tried to accomplish is a failure. It means it is a failure. But you're a leftist and a commie at heart.
yes,
And
I am.
when you get malnourished and you can't think correctly, and that's
I'm
what's
sorry.
going on here.
Hold on.
What?
I will say this. This was the one thing that cracked me up about the situation. I'm not saying him getting shot was hilarious. Him saying, "Let me get my shoes." Why? Why? What is in his shoes? I want to know. Like
Well,
the mic
nothing.
pick him up, but why? Like
They-
if somebody's busting shots at me, the last thing I'm worried about is my shoes. I was like, what planet does this dude live on? Like
I don't know.
somebody's
I would get
taking
my stuff.
shots.
I might get my stuff. You don't know. Never know. What if it's my new LL Cool J signed CD? And I'm like, hold on, I got to get that.
If you're the president, you could probably get another one.
Yeah, but whatever.
Oh God.
But yeah, obviously it's a failure. Anytime a shot gets popped off at a protectee, it's a failure. And typically, though, back in the day, and I don't know if it's happening now, when you're on a detail where that happens, you're done. Like nobody gets to protect anybody again. You're going to go find counterfeit dollar bills.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's how it should be technically, because it shouldn't mess with your head where you can't
right.
protect someone else later on.
Yeah.
And, like you can't protect two presidents. You can only protect the one president. And when a new president comes, it's a whole new detail. Separate people. They don't want any loyalties. That's why all that stuff they go through, I'm like, who's this lady who is a DEI hire? I don't care if people don't like that. It's a joke, and it's not a joke because DEI is a joke and a failure. But she can't holster her weapon. It was like a fumbling naked gun type of thing where it's like, they all failed, but it's like, but what are you doing? And then you ducked. That's what kills me. I'm like, wow, you ducked. And Agent Doug was like, nope. Although I would never want to sign up and stand in front of a bullet for Trump of all
God,
people.
No, not at all. Like that would be the last. I mean, I wouldn't stand in front of a bullet for any president ever. You know what I mean? But we're talking about like street credibility. Like when you talk violently, what you put out comes back. You know what I mean? So I'm surprised, honestly, that it took that long because it's like the political climate in this country is so awful right now that it's like you can't gin up your base and, say this and
No.
say that and think that like, no, you're untouchable. You know what I mean? There's too many people out there. There's too many guns. There's
Well,
too many people
did
with
you see
all kinds of like issues.
Biden made a comment, I guess, a couple of days before that it's time to put Donald Trump in the crosshairs. And Lester Holt on NBC called him out on that and says, when you say time to put Donald Trump in the crosshairs, do you think that can influence anyone? Because the argument's been made that Donald Trump saying you go to the Capitol and fight for your rights influenced people, which I do believe that influenced people. And Joe Biden was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that and all that. The thing is, the point of all this is the rhetoric from both sides is insane. They all act like they're hard. They all act like every other person's a Nazi or every other one's a Hitler. No one's been Hitler yet. Hitler's been Hitler. No one else has been Hitler. That's a very specific thing you got to accomplish to be called Hitler. You can say this guy's a jerk or he shows tendencies for, authoritism or something. You could say that kind of stuff. He's not Hitler. He's not. Not to mention so many of the memes that they have against Trump. And I hate defending this guy. They didn't happen. It's just memes that got repeated so many times that now it's in our collective memory. That goes with almost all of them, though. Like when they're like, Obama's going to take the guns. He said he was going to take our guns. He never said that. Like he never said it, and he never attempted to take guns.
And you couldn't take the guns.
No, but he never said it. But it got in social media.
Yeah,
it got repeated enough times where now it's real.
Well,
it was never real. It's so dumb.
Both of these walking corpses are terrible choices, and neither one of them are getting my vote. So
I mean, same here. I don't care.
Like,
I don't agree with the lesser of two evils.
No. Well,
would you like a heart attack or cancer? I would like none, please.
Yeah. No, I don't even think you can call Joe Biden the lesser of two evils at this point, like without getting too deep into it. But yeah, no, I will definitely be voting third party, and you can all hate me later, but whatever.
Well, let's leave it there because the executives at NBC are giving me the cutthroat signal. So I think we are done for this week. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thejointsermons.com is where you can find everything.
Like and subscribe.
That's gay.